Good morning, good afternoon, good night. What is going on, guys? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's Daily Devotional. I'm glad you're here. We're going through Ruth, studying through the Old Testament, this time to see what God has to say to us through his word. So what we look at is what is the story actually saying. Then we look at what is God doing in this story, or what does the story say about God? And then we look at what does this story say about mankind? And then we try and apply these truths that we learn in our lives. So I'm glad you're here. Glad you're studying with us, man. It's been awesome. I hope you applied something from the last section as we continue to work our way through this book. We are on Ruth chapter 3, verse 7. And we will be reading to verse 13. It's getting good, guys. So last podcast, we had a little scandal. You know what I'm saying? I say that jokingly because it really wasn't a scandal. She was actually trying to set up a proposal for this man, Boaz, or at least her mother-in-law was telling her how to do it. Well, we're on the part of when she actually did it. So let's jump into it. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quietly, uncovering his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled the man. He turned, and there was a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "I'm your servant Ruth," she said. "Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family." "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he replied. "This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the young man, which is rich, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do all that you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Although it is true that I am a guardian redeemer of our family, there is another who is more closely related than I. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good. Let him redeem you. But if not, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. Lie here until morning." So the scene is set up. After Boaz eats and drinks and he goes back and kicks it and to lay down, there's Ruth who sneaks in, uncovers his feet, and lays down at his feet. Looking good, smelling good. And it's gone by a couple of hours, and he wakes up and he sees that somebody's lying at his feet. Like, what's going on? Like, somebody's lying at my feet. And she's like, "Oh, I'm Ruth." And she says, "Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are guardian redeemer." So she's saying, take me in as your wife, because you are the closest kin to me. Remember, I talked about last episode how if a husband of a wife dies, well, then the brother marries the wife, and then it just continues on for the closest relative in order for that house to carry on. So what she's saying is, you are the closest relative in which you could be my husband, you know. And then Boaz is like, whoa, this is kind. And I think he's saying that because he looked upon her and loved her, you know. That's why he was doing those things out in the field, is because he just had a special kind of love for her. And so when she presented herself as one that he could marry, she thought that was the greatest thing. He thought that was the greatest thing. He said, "Man, your kindness before, just being able to talk with me, eat with me, doing all these things, doing the things you're doing for your mother-in-law, that's great, but this is even greater." But we know Boaz is a man of God's character. He's a man that is seeking to do what God wills him to do, because he doesn't take advantage of that. Matter of fact, he says, "There's one closer than I." So even though I love you, you know, for this wonderful thing that you tried to do, that's a beautiful thing. He says there was somebody who is in proper line to be able to make you a kinsman redeemer. He's like, so you just stay here, rest with me, be safe, and I'll take you to him. And if he wants to, then yeah, that's the way it'll be. But if not, man, he's like, I will surely do it. I'm going to do it, man. But I've got to do the right thing first. One thing that is to be said is, remember how we talked about Ruth being right after Proverbs, because Proverbs 31 is the model of a noble woman, or a woman of virtue. Well, this is where the book of Ruth actually portrays that. It says the things that Ruth is doing. So the reason that, I said it's kind of scandalous because it does deal with some kind of relationship issues with a man and a woman. You can read in other things about at the threshing floor how sexual immorality is going down, and then uncovering your feet. Some people think that's a euphemism of sex, but we know that it is not true in this sense. That Ruth was not propositioning him in that way, but was only seeking for a husband to take care of her, because he says everybody knows that you are a woman of noble character. Everybody knows that you are a woman of a virtuous character. And so when he did that, he knew exactly what she was looking for as she explained it. She said, "You are my kinsman redeemer. You're closest to me. And if you would desire that you would be my husband." Man, that's awesome, man. So what's to say about God? Well, I think it's actually cool how God sets up things in his laws for us to do that are both beneficial for the people that obey them, and then also give him glory, because God doesn't do things arbitrarily. Sometimes we think he does, man, but he does not. He does things born from his character, and the character that he has takes care of the widows, takes care of the orphans. And so this institution that he set up takes care of the widows. And God is using Naomi to teach her about these laws, to help her to realize like the goodness of God. See how God is moving in Naomi, even in a difficult situation. But then, not only that, is Boaz, being the righteous man that he is, doesn't take advantage of this, but even goes further to say that there is one that is closer than him. See, this is God moving in people. What's it say about man? Well, a lot of times right here, man, it's saying just about the character of those who love the Lord. Those who are in the family of God, that God is changing people from within. And in this one, man, it's just amazing to see a brother who's living out the character of God in his life. Like he is actually being the image bearer that he was created to be, by first off praising her for being such a wonderful woman of noble character. Second off, not taking advantage of the position that she put herself in, the vulnerability that she made herself, but actually saying there is one closer than I. And then finally saying that as the Lord lives, by God's name, I will marry you if he does not, because he cares for her. What am I take from this? Well, I want to be respectful and honorable in all that I do. I want to bear the image of God in this world, in my life. I want others to look at me and see the goodness of God, the righteousness of Jesus, and the love of his Spirit. I want them to look at me in that way. And so I have to begin to act that way. Studying his word, being conformed or transformed into the image of his Son. That's what I've got to do. And I want to do that. That's what I've called myself to do. That's what I'm going to apply. Is I am going to continually walk and allow God to change me by walking step in step with his Spirit. What are you guys going to do? How are you going to apply the scriptures to your life today? How are you going to walk out these truths in your life? Be an image bearer. Be of noble character, whether you're a man or a woman. Both of these people are of noble character. And does everybody look at you and say, man, yeah, we know that you're of noble character. Everybody in this city knows that you're of noble character. What amazingness would that be if when I'm passed away, dead, gone, people at my funeral, they would say, everybody here, everybody in this city, everybody in this state, everybody in this country knows that this brother is a person of noble character. And it's because of God. Man, that would be some awesome, awesome stuff. Well, I appreciate you guys for listening. And thank you for the time as we continue our study through Ruth, we'll be on verse 14. Yeah, as we're walking through Ruth, man. Just a great book. Have your application, man. Live it out day by day. I encourage you and charge you. Continue in the faith. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.